The drugs come in various names. They are called drugs, narcotics, whatever, whatever. These are the things which, when taken alone or together with something else, affects you. There are some things which may not affect you unless it is mixed with others. For example, if you are taking a soda and somebody mixes it with whiskey, or you have even heard of cases in public places where somebody's drink is spiked and whatever. You may have been taking a soda and somebody spikes it with the drug. So anything that affects you, whether taken alone or with other things. In the Swahili word is madawa ya kulevya. For those of you who understand Swahili, it is very explanatory, meaning medicine that makes one drunk. Long ago, when hunters stepped on bear traps in the forest, they would be given a lot of alcohol until they passed out. Once they have passed out, the leg would be cut at the knee, the way you see butchermen cutting meat when you go there. Once the alcohol is out, you'd regain consciousness, and you'll be surprised to find that you don't have a leg from knee down. That way, you'd also be continued intake of alcohol for a long time until you recover. You recover. Those are those gone days. We have two main reasons why people are discouraged from drug usage. We have two main reasons why people are discouraged from drug usage. Should you require treatment using the same drug, your body would have been used to it and that it would not act effectively. There is a king in Europe long time ago who suspected that people would poison him. So he started taking poison slowly, little by little, until he started taking it little by little. And as he took it little by little, as time went, he took a lot of poison. And then one day uh, he wanted to commit suicide. When he took poison, it had no effect. So that is one of the reasons. The other one, these drugs tend to be addictive. Tend to be addictive. If you use drug, it becomes addictive. Were it to be the type of medicine that once you are cured or once you are gone through, uh, it would have been better. But these things, the second reason is they tend to be addictive, and that is why we have rehabilitation center. Today's drugs are so modern that you can observe and even understand what is going on without feeling any pain. You could even participate in talking to uh, the doctors as they operate on you. Before this, one had to be put to sleep. You woke up to find things differently. So the lesson here is to keep them off until the doctor says it. If the doctor doesn't say it, don't use it. And then when the doctor says so, use as prescribed by the doctor. Use as prescribed by the doctor. Don't over. There we have something that over subscription and under subscription. Did I use the proper word? Mm, no, I did. I'm forgetting the name that I'm, I'm supposed to use. But you are supposed to. Supposing the doctor said the 2 by 3, that means morning, lunch, and evening, 2 to 2. Don't see that your work is involving you don't go home for lunch and then use 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, 3 in the evening. No, carry the 2 for lunch to your place of work or wherever you'll be. And again, if the doctor says use 2 by 3, don't use 3 by 3 to get. Your body may get used to the drug, and you may have to use a stronger drug. Just use exactly as the doctors prescribed. That is what people say. There is a saying that as the doctor prescribed, no more, no less. When police officers or law enforcement agencies get you the drugs, usually you are charged with being in possession of narcotics without a doctor's prescription. We will now turn to those drugs that people don't know and use daily. I've just used one of it, but don't send police. As as seen a few minutes ago, we talked. Alcohol is a drug. Alcohol is a drug, and not very many alcohol users will understand that. You'll even find that, leave alone beer and whatever. You may use a lot of beer, and when you are sick, you'll find that the doctor cannot prescribe the normal medicine he would prescribe to the other persons. Why? Because of your drug use in form of alcohol. Many alcohol addicts will tell you that when sick, some drugs don't work with them. And then again, hangover. Hangover is a sign of withdrawal syndrome. Another drug addictive that people take without knowing that it is a drug is cigarettes. And I can tell you that of all drugs that I know, cigarette is the most addictive drug than all of them combined. That all of them combined. The cigarette is narcotics is a drug, and it is one of the highest addictive drugs ever known. Surprise, surprise! Do you know that coffee and tea are other drugs that we take without knowing? That is why I said I have just taken some drugs. I meant tea. So as much as we take tea, you should know that it is a drug. If you want to know that tea is a drug, talk to anybody from Vihiga district, from Vihiga County. They'll tell you that when a pastor and Mama Assembly have visited a family, they are given milk, which is boiled, and they add tea there without water. Once they take that, the arguments they make more noise than even in a bar. That is why in Maragodi land, tea is called Mukomanguva. Mukomanguva. Mukomanguva is the initiator of arguments. The initiator of arguments. Because once the church leaders have taken that, they start arguing. Hey, Mama Assembly, unakumbuka ile crusade tulikuwa sijui huko Chabakali? Ati hapana. Mama Assembly, hapana, hii hapana. Ile Mundete sijui nini nini. Hapana, they start arguing which was better attended and which was, and they argue the way people argue in a bar or even more. So that is why it is called, that is why tea is a drug. Last part of this episode has to do with the so-called mules. We have people who are called mules. In English, mule is related to a donkey, a zebra, a horse. Actually, mule as an animal is a crossbreed between two species of the donkey family and the horse family. Now, once the new species comes out that it cannot reproduce, so its only purpose is to carry weight, and they carry weight more than the donkeys, more than the horses, more than whatever. So people who transport drugs from one country to another are also called mules. Their work is, their only usefulness is to carry the luggage. You carry, usually what the detectives in the ANU, anti-narcotics units, do, they look at your passport. Your passport shows that you move from a drug producing country, you pass through Africa like Kenya, where you change flights and go to Western countries, uh, they suspect that you are a mule. You are a mule. So usually the drugs come from Eastern Asia to the USA and Europe via a developing country like that. Once caught, some jurisdiction order for your execution. Others will lead you to a long time jail term, including life there. These are some of the way that is used. You you carry without knowing. First one is you carry without knowing, and the second one you carry while knowing. Now, when you carry without knowing, you carry someone's bag or your bag is exchanged by your employer. If you are traveling by air, don't reach an and find that you don't have luggage. Somebody says, since you don't, young man or young woman, since you don't have a luggage, why don't you carry this bag for me? If you caught, it is you will be caught and not that person. That is when you carry unknowingly. Another way of carrying unknowingly is we have a case of a girl from Kenya. She was called, she went to, I think, Ethiopia. She boarded a plane from Kenya to Ethiopia. From Ethiopia, she went to, I don't know, Bangkok. Now, how can you travel that way? How can you spend so much money on that for you to just to go to Bangkok and come back and you're paid 200,000 or 250,000 shillings? I know of some people who earn 1,000,000 shillings a day. Uh, some of them are even known to me. Um, one is even related to me. But these people, if you talk to them, they'll tell you that they did not start with 1,000,000. There's a time when they used to work and get 5 shillings a day. So they went. Now you being just a form four, uh, in and somebody just a stranger tells you, you go to Bangkok and come back. And when you go there, say, I need this bag of yours. Babe, take your clothing, place in this bag. Usually those bags are false bottom, which are carrying drugs. So if the deal is too good, you should think twice. The second thing is you carry while you know. These are cases where you 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 are given pellets. You are given pellets to swallow, and then that is why the people even pass through Nairobi. You enter a plane in Bangkok. You are given pellets. You swallow. It is in your stomach. You come to Nairobi. You go to a toilet. You wash the pellets again. You swallow it. You see, it is calculated that from the moment you swallow to the time you go to the toilet, it's let's say 8 hours. So the 8 hours, the plane would have left Bangkok and reached Nairobi. So you do that in Nairobi during the changing of planes, and you go to another plane, and 8 hours you are in the USA or Europe. And these things are very dangerous. Apart from being jailed for life, it is dangerous in that you will, if it explodes, that is instant death. That is instant death. I want to say this: when you are traveling, uh, these air hostess are trained. Air hostess are trained. They are trained to look at people with suspicious character. The air hostess are also taught the air hostess was also taught at DCI training school and NIS training school academy, where they are taught to see and identify suspicious character. Which are the suspicious character? The suspicious character, I can tell you, is that they include, you see, when you are carried on the plane, everything is free except alcohol and cigarette. Now, this is somebody who is traveling for 8 hours. He or she does not want to eat. Of course, he or she may be fasting. But this fellow, you find that he's yawning or she's yawning. Yawning is a sign of hunger. Two, if you have not eaten for long, because you are told not to eat anything. Why? You see, the stomach, is it called alimentary canal, is made in such a way that it passes food. So, hakuna kuruka. So when you eat, you push the pellet down. You push the pellet down. So you are told not to eat because you'll push the pellet down, and you may want to go to toilet before you reach the town like Nairobi where you have to change. Hmm? Change plane and also wash the pellets and what do you call? Re-swallow it. Now, have you seen matumbo? Have you seen matumbo ya ng'ombe? It looks like a it looks like a towel. Yeah, those things are funny, such that when you eat anything, they scratch the whatever the food you have eaten. They scratch them the way sandpaper scratches are soft. So when you have digested the pellet, this thing scratches the pellet, thinking that you have swallowed ugali. So you see they'll scratch the ugali and eat. But when they scratch, they find that this is plastic, condom. So they scratch that and they find they're not eating. And then they pass a message to the brain that they are hungry. And when somebody is hungry, the lips are dry and the person starts yawning and such a thing. That is how you are seen in the airport. And when the best way to do these things is to keep off them. Keep off them. Uh, Remember, whatever happens to you, you may even be summarily executed, yes, and whatever. But what effect will you give to your loved ones back home? What will happen if you're executed in Bangkok or jailed in there forever or or such a thing? What impression, what would your immediate loved one feel? You know, you'll be punishing them. Thank you.